Again, I'm a voyeur, so I love it. I'll watch it.
It was definitely
sideshows come in and stuff. Do you still do those?
Or yes. Like this?
Oh, and the butterflies, before you get on, you're waiting in line.
Certified free, 7 days a week.
Whenever we start off with 0 viewers, I always double check to make sure that I didn't miss something when we go live.
The chat, anything?
Yes, the chat, did I forget to go live?
Yeah.
We've done that before.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Merce Sausage. How are you today?
What's going on, Merce? Big Bacchus.
Is coming in.
This feels a little bit more like an early morning start, like everyone's just kind of like slowly filing in, like.
Well, it was today's like crappy weather.
Oh
You know, it was definitely like nappy weather.
There's NyQuil in the rain. That's what they don't want to tell you.
like chemtrails, maybe.
Yeah,
something
Chemtrails
going.
and NyQuil.
But it's like that perfect, like have a hammock outside under a tin roof.
Mhm.
Just sway.
What's up, Bubbles?
Like one of those like screen enclosed porches.
Yes. Well, but
Hi,
yeah.
Bubbles.
Hey, Bubbles.
I prefer to be slightly warmer though.
I'm okay with a little bit of sweater weather.
I like the rain. I would prefer there be no wind chill. I think the wind is what gets me. Like I could be 64 in still air, but 64 and windy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
What's up, Victor, John, Julie?
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Yeah, the usual suspects are rolling in.
Yes,
It's always nice to see. I always marvel at the fact you have people like Merce Sausage, right? I mean, first of all, he better watch every week, but he watches every week. But there are so many of you who have been watching for a long time. You're at least, and some of you are here for the whole entire show, which thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really cool. I mean, of course, we like when new people come in and watch also.
Yes.
But it's kind of our Monday night of, connecting with our friends.
Yes. And we're not going to be here next Monday.
We are not.
Oh.
I wonder if
Am I soloing the podcast?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I can't remember if we tried last year from Hito.
We didn't.
Okay.
We didn't. Hi, Valfreya. Yeah, we just kind of let it go.
You guys can tune in and we can do a Hot One style podcast where we just eat really spicy chicken wings.
Well, that kind of reminds me of the Couch Crew. Remember when the Couch Crew used to watch and they would be having pizza and wings? And it was almost like having it wasn't almost like they were having a watch party.
Yes.
That was cool as fuck.
Yeah. Well, we can go back to doing one Monday night where we actually open up the lounge area and we do it live like we used to every once in a while.
Well, really quick, since Big Bacchus mentioned it, we actually do have a guest appearance coming on tonight. We have Beth Darling, who I told her this today, and I mean it in absolutely 100%. For those of you who are from the kink community or rope community, you may have heard the name Midori. And Midori is regarded as an expert in her field as it relates to rope.
Yes.
Rope bondage specifically. Beth Darling, as far as I'm concerned, is the equivalent to that in the E&M community.
Yeah.
Swinger, sex positive lifestyles. How's that?
Yeah.
So we will have the honor of having Beth on because we are making an announcement about an education event that they're going to be putting on here at the Body Shop
Yes.
next month. So
Yeah. For a minute there, I'm like, next month? Isn't it this month? Wait a minute.
no, tomorrow it will be this month.
Whoa.
So yeah, so whenever she pops on, she had some things to take care of before. We kind of asked her last minute. So when she jumps in, we'll probably go right to her. So
Yes.
I want to make sure we respect her time.
Yeah.
So
Now, did you know that this is her book cover? One, and those are actually her legs.
Iconic.
I'm going to say this now before she comes on because I'm sure she's not watching and probably won't watch, but I do find her sexy. She has this kind of like librarian sexy going on, but like a hot librarian. I don't know how else to say this. Like not naughty, but like can turn on a dime. Like all of a sudden it's naughty Beth.
Naughty Beth.
And I find that so incredibly like, So anyway.
You just heard "Hot for Teacher" and it really like spoke to you, huh?
Yes.
You saw the "Hot for Teacher" music video and you were like, "Fuck, damn."
Yeah, like
He's like, how come none of this shit happened to me?
yeah, sans the actual naughtiness of that.
Right.
We are certainly, this is a please respect boundaries and ethical boundaries and all that.
Yes. Cool. For a minute there, I thought you were drinking a Red Bull. I'm like, what?
No. Sugary drinks are not my friend.
I know.
Van Halen was the first band, original Van Halen. Now this is the first band I like really fell in love with, and it was the 1984 album that did it for me.
Okay.
But I found myself really enjoying some of their older stuff.
Okay.
One sticks out, and you're probably gonna both agree that it tracks real hard. The song is "Running with the Devil."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are. Not running, but
there was a question over the weekend about it's just reminded me of this. If you had to practice a religion, and nobody has to answer this, I'm going to answer. Nobody asked what my religion would have been.
What was your religion, G?
Satanism. If I had to practice one, and I have not verified these claims personally, so I just want to put that out there. But anecdotally, I have been exposed to the thought that the actual Satanic Bible is more ethical than our actual Bible, like Christian Bible.
It is. I think I know the most about Luciferianism. Second would probably be chaos magic. But
okay.
I think you'd be interested in Luciferianism.
Interesting.
I don't know much about it at all. I was born and baptized Roman Catholic. I've gone through all of the sacraments. But I'm no longer practicing. And while I claim it loosely as my religion, it's only just by default. So anyway, but the question was, if it was a requirement to define your religion or say what it was, and it had to be a recognized religion, what religion would that be? And that was the question. So,
well, look at
well, Zoe, it's backwards, so nobody can read it.
I'm about to see in a different light.
This is how Zoe really looks.
Okay. That's my certificate of unbaptism through the
You got unbaptized.
Hmm.
Unbaptized. It was really interesting. They like tie your hands up like this, and I was like,
Shit about to get real.
but yeah, they like you like undo the baptism, like they untie it, and it like represents the chains of Christianity.
Hmm.
Hmm. So I don't know. I'm like, again, uh, raised Catholic, not practicing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Intruder alert.
Bubbles, I'm a deacon. I can make holy water.
I think this was a sign to get off the topic of religion. we're gonna go right into bringing Beth Darling on here. She's jumped in and giving us her time. So welcome, Beth Darling.
Oh, hello. I'm always happy to talk about sex and religion. So, that's one of my favorite things
Okay.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been reading this book. Oh my God, what is it called?
On the topic of God and sex,
Yeah.
I read it too.
Oh,
What's up, Brian?
Hello.
wow. Hi.
Big Bacchus says, I find 3 truths to be self-evident. All existence is trauma. Be excellent to one another and live life generously.
Okay. Cool. That's a good one.
What do you think, Beth? Any of those resonate with you?
Oh, yeah. All of them, I'd say. And I think if people live with kindness, curiosity, and generosity, you're doing pretty well. Those are my 3. Those are my 3 things to live by.
These will be Bethisms.
Yeah.
Kindness, curiosity, and
generosity.
Mm-hmm. Kindness.
Yeah, which is of spirit, right, as well. People tend to think of it just financially, but spiritual is so much more.
Curiosity was definitely a challenging word to spell right now.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Oh,
I was just telling somebody earlier today, I barely made it out of high school, and I did 1/4 of community college for fire chemistry. I wanted to be a fireman, and I lasted 1 semester.
And then you went into law enforcement.
And then I went into law enforcement. Yes, the other governmental agency.
We all have our crazy journeys, and
For sure.
What was that said that all of existence is trauma, right? But it's sometimes, it informs us. We can make something out of it if we try hard enough, even when we don't want to.
Yeah.
I heard it put in a way that whatever the lesson is will continue to repeat itself in various forms and get more intense until you learn the lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And take the appropriate action.
That is
or
true.
take action.
Overall.
Yeah.
So let's back up. Let's back the train. We came out of the tunnel like a bullet train. It was like, so for those
I'm kind of
you,
like a bull in a china shop. That happens all the time.
No, I love it.
I'm sure it's my fault.
If we could hold people for 2 or 3 hours, I would absolutely talk to you for the next 2 or 3 hours. But we're going to be respectful of everybody's time today. So who is Beth Darling, and why should people pay attention to Beth Darling?
Are you asking me?
I am asking Beth Darling.
Okay.
We are asking the expert about Beth.
Okay. Well, who I am. Well, my journey was I started out as a board certified divorce lawyer and spent, I don't know how many years, a dozen years, helping people through what was really a very bad time, trying to make it better, and realized that I could make it a little better, but I couldn't make it good, and it was too depressing. Then after my own divorce, after 23 years of marriage and 23 years of what I call BMS, boring married sex, I looked around. I was like, okay, I don't want to do this again. How do I not? And I looked around for who was going to teach me how to integrate romance and relationships and sexuality and sensuality in a way that really felt good to me. I didn't want to all be uptight about it, and I didn't want it to be like sex is nothing. I wanted it to be really a celebration of things. And so I couldn't find somebody teaching it the way I wanted. So I decided to set off on my own journey. And quite frankly, I'd had a half a master's in marriage and family therapy even beforehand. So this wasn't too far out of the realm of possibility, except that it was focusing on sexuality, sensuality, intimacy. And so I opened a shop in Houston that was called Darling Way. That was everything fun, flirty, frisky, and fetish in a cute little neighborhood. I wanted a place where people could go and be proud of the fact they could tell their kids, mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad are going to Darling Way. And we were going to learn how to love and laugh together. And it was my soapbox. And so I started then, took everything that I learned and started throwing it out there in terms of workshops and classes and books. So thank you for thinking of my book, Mary Lou, because I didn't think of it. I'm not holding it.
There's a close friend that makes it very known that Beth is the worst marketing tool for herself. Like
Yes. Now, to be fair, I did just put my 3-year-old grandson to bed for the evening after bath. So I have to switch out of that role of Bubby into sexpert, so, but really I would have forgotten it anyway. So I'm just making bullshit excuses. Forgive me. Oh, well.
Listen, if it were not for Mary Lou, I would forget to wake up in the morning.
Yes. Yep. That is true. So, anyway, so really I love talking about sex. I think and frankly, even when I was a kid, when my sex ed, my parents gave me 3 books on sex. And I was like, 10 years old or something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we just lost your audio, Beth.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it
Audio's back.
Oh, I
Okay.
don't know why. Sorry.
You're good now.
I don't know why my AirPods aren't working.
Oh, no.
Oh, they disconnected.
They disconnected. My bad. Can you hear me though?
We can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll try them again. But anyway, so I love talking about sexy, and I love doing workshops because I think I have a fairly unique approach. Well, my book, as Mary Lou showed, was the 5 kinds of intimacy, because nobody, not Brene Brown, not the Gottmans, who are the leading researchers into marriage and successful marriages, nobody has actually defined intimacy in a way that is workable, that is something. When couples would come to me and be like, okay, we want to get happy, and we think about, okay, what is happy? We couldn't identify what those pieces were that they needed to have to equate to happiness. So my logical lawyer brain had to break it down. And so I think the 5 kinds of intimacy are they're the building blocks from which the 5 love languages, actually they can work, but without intimacy, the 5 love languages, I don't think are that particularly helpful. So I think the 5 kinds of intimacy is it's the building blocks for a healthy, happy relationship. So.
And what was the with the 5 kinds of intimacy? Is it? I understand it loosely to mean that you may have one or more types of intimacy that resonate with you specifically, and you've identified those in 5 different aspects or 5 different ways. Did I miss that?
Well, no, I think that to have a really healthy, happy relationship, whether romantic or otherwise, I think that you need all 5, right? The 5 love languages are like, oh, pick your favorite,
Okay.
I don't think that's true with intimacy. I think that, in fact, physical, emotional, sexual, romantic, and spiritual. And even couples that don't get along, when somebody, for example, they've been together for 50 years, one of the partners dies. The comment that the surviving partner will say is, the bed is so lonely. Like, even if they hated the person, the bed is so lonely and they miss them, because that's physical intimacy. Whether they liked the person or not, whether they had any sexual chemistry or not. So to me, when we're missing one of those long distance relationships, right? You can have a lot of those, but you can't have the physical. You got to make up for that, because after a long time or a period of time, your relationship is going to deteriorate if nobody's actually touching you. So we've got to find ways, and I'm not saying they're doomed. I provide a bunch of different exercises for people to create these kinds of intimacy. So for long distance relationships, there are ones like how you can actually do Zoom in a way that simulates as closely as you can physical touch with your partner, even though they're not physically present with you. But to me, you have to have all 5 if you're going to have the healthiest and happiest relationship. They're equally important. They can't substitute for one another for very long. It's like eating sugar when you really need protein. I keep trying. It doesn't work very well. So you need these. And frankly, it applies to it. And when I say, because sexual intimacy, by the way, does not mean actually having sex. That's one form of sexual intimacy, but it's not the only way. Talking about sex, recognizing our children as sexual beings is sexual intimacy. So,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there a single piece of advice that you could give people in relationships that would put them on track to having a healthier relationship? Intimacy, what, like, is there a go-to advice that you give somebody?
Well, read my book. I would say that.
There's a good plug.
And I'm just meaning, because my kids get on me all the time, because I just believe this. I really, truly believe this. I didn't publish this book for several years because it's a pain in the ass to write a book, but 2, because I didn't want to put this out there as a definitive if it wasn't actually. So I spent years challenging every therapist I could find about this theory. Does it work? What is it? How does it match up with what you've seen? So I believe it. I truly, truly believe it with my heart. And so I think I think starting there would be great. If I was going to give one of the exercises that I recommend to people all the time, I think it's one of the most impactful exercises that they could do. It's what I call a back-to-back, skin-to-skin conversation. Okay. So people tend to think that conversation should be face-to-face, eye-to-eye. That puts a lot of pressure on us, especially if you're in a relationship where the other person's opinion means so much to you. Because when it means so much, we can see micro expressions across our face. We can see shock. We can see surprise. We can see all these things that we don't even realize we're seeing, and that somebody might not want us to see. But that can discourage the actual significant conversations that we need to have. So, and nobody likes those words. We need to talk, right? Nobody. That doesn't go well. So I suggest to my clients that they have every week, generally Sunday mornings or Sunday evenings work pretty well for people. Schedule it every week. The back-to-back, skin-to-skin. Skin-to-skin gives you, starts giving a release of oxytocin and dopamine that are those happy hormones. So immediately they create a increased mood, elevated mood. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone, so you feel more attached to the person. You truly, literally feel their support, right? You're leaning against them. And then each person takes a time, 5 minutes, set a timer, so nobody's looking at a watch, and they must talk. They can talk about anything, but they must talk. And with no responses, then the other person does. Again, same amount of time, no responses back. But it becomes this sort of catharsis, because now you're just saying what you're feeling and what you're thinking without worrying about the response on the other side. And that's when then, after each person has their time, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then they can be discussion. Still not looking face to face, right? Because sometimes there are things that you're embarrassed about, right? There are things that oh my God, I want to try, I want to try threesome. I've never done this. I'm so worried what my partner's going to think. It's a hell of a lot easier to do it back to back, skin to skin, than it is face to face, eye to eye. So
I would agree. And I think Mary Lou and I have inadvertently done exactly that. Like, it seems like some of our more challenging conversations have happened in the dark, back to back, in bed, because you can't see each other and you can just have the conversation, almost like you're talking to yourself.
Well,
That
it's
motherfucker.
I think it's that you're free to be yourself.
Yes.
To what? Free to what?
You're free to be yourself,
Mm.
right? With the support of your partner and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people, when it comes to teenagers, the advice to parents is very often, oh, be in the car with them, where you're not making eye to eye contact, but they'll talk more in the car. I don't know why people haven't applied it before to couples, to relationships, that it truly is easier sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that every conversation should be without eye contact, not
Right.
at all. But I promise once you get good at the back-to-back, skin-to-skins, you will get much better also at the eye-to-eye, face-to-face. You'll get everything. As soon as you start increasing one level of intimacy, other kinds of intimacies will improve. So back-to-back, skin-to-skin gives you physical intimacy through that contact, and it gives you emotional intimacy through the ability to share yourself and your heart and to be vulnerable. And then if you're talking about sexual stuff, it gives you that sexual intimacy as well. It can be romantic, but probably I'd rather that it be just something that you can comfort and count on and stuff. And the spiritual is nothing about a religion. It is simply that sense, that knowing that what you're doing is good for you, good for your partner, good for your family, good for the world at large, and basically blessed by whatever your version of the divine is. So the back-to-back, skin-to-skin, I think kind of hits everything in there. So that's my advice.
It kind of it seems like an easy way to start having those conversations. And I think what you're saying is it's also important to have the face-to-face, but this is like a good practice to sort of graduate to that. Like, hey, are we ready? Maybe after 5 or 10 or 15 or even 2, you realize that you're not going to blow up at each other or have terrible conversation. It's just you can have a great conversation with each other, and that's the goal. The goal is to be able to do it face-to-face on a regular basis.
No.
No?
No. I think they're both equally important. So I want people to have back-to-back, skin-to-skins on a regular basis.
Regardless.
Not because something's wrong, but because that's maintenance for your relationship. It means when something happens during the week that just pisses you off, even though maybe it's a little thing, God, my ex-husband used to leave Diet Pepsi cans around every fucking night. It drove me nuts, right? Such a stupid little thing. Well, that would be something, if I'd known this shit then, I would have, in a back-to-back conversation, it would have been easier for me to just say, I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it. I'm not saying it's a big deal, but every morning I get up and it just drives me nuts. And it would really mean a lot to me, right? So I wouldn't have to do it every time. And I wouldn't have to say, we need to talk about it. I would just know that, okay, I'm going to add it to my list on Sunday. This is one of the things I want to bring up. Maybe it's, hey, please stop inviting people home without asking me first. Maybe it's, please stop making plans and commitments without talking to me first. Maybe it's, do you know that your toenails are scratching me at night in bed, But it just means anything that we're a little bit, whatever, that we just want space to do, that it will come out. So I don't want people thinking, oh no, we only do it if it's bad, if things are hard, because then you'll dread them. I want them to be a normal part of your relationship, because frankly, to sit down back to back, skin to skin for 20 minutes a week is going to be a blessing. It's going to be a blessing no matter what comes out. Even if it's just, I'm feeling really good, work went well, blah, 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 or, I really need a little bit more support or encouragement at home, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be something that comes out.
So it could be something, good too. Like I really loved insert whatever.
Right. I really loved that gangbang that I was really nervous to ask about. And I'm afraid to tell you how much I enjoyed it because I'm blushing, right? I can say that. Yeah. And
you get what I'm saying now about Beth? Like, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, Beth goes from like sweet and innocent to gangbang. Like, what's not to love?
Oh, thank you. And just let me clarify for the reference. Big Bacchus said the 5 kinds of intimacy: physical, emotional, sexual, romantic, and spiritual. Physical, emotional, sexual, romantic, and spiritual. And so he put intellectual, and I will tell you, so I get a lot of questions, oh, isn't that important? And I actually included in the book one of my clients who was brilliant, I forget, chemistry or something, brilliant person. And she kept thinking that she needed somebody who was like that brilliant, and who would understand her chemistry and whatever. No, what she really needed was somebody who understood how important chemistry was to her, how important all of those grants were, how frustrating it was at the office or at the, in the academic world and stuff. She didn't need them to understand the formulas that she was doing. She had colleagues for that. She needed somebody who understood her. So that's what I think. I mean, clearly you need somebody who's at a level where you can have a good conversation, sure, but that's not intellectual intimacy. That's just somebody that keeps up with you, right? If I have somebody who speaks really slowly, I'm going to be nuts just because I'm going to be pulling the words out of them. So, yeah. Okay, I'll stop going. I get a little hyper, sorry.
No, that's absolutely wonderful. Just because when you're speaking about something you're really passionate about, and this is in general, this is all people, but it's quite evident in you that it flows from you so naturally, because you, number one, you're so passionate about it, and number two, you know a lot about it.
Well, I take this shit seriously, and I'm a geek, right? I am a total geek. I am a bookworm, and I have been since I was little, since I learned to read. So I read compulsively, and I've read about sex compulsively. Hell, in law school, my independent studies, I was doing my essays on why prostitution should be legal. I mean, so
Wow.
yeah. My very conservative professor loved it. Loved it.
Did they consider that or concede that you made a valid argument?
Oh yeah, I got an A in the class. Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would if you had ever share that, I would be curious to read it.
Oh, I don't even know that I have it.
Wow.
But I'll tell you that this one of my professors from law school that I respected so much, when he found out what I was doing now, he was like, "Oh, Beth, I don't understand. Sex is natural. Why should we have to talk about it?" And I was like, "Well, let me tell you, professor." I said, "Sex, it's like pooping and peeing. Those are natural, but it's potty training that keeps us from walking through shit all the time. And that's what it is. Sex can simply sustain you, or it can make your life so much better." Right. And you get the choice.
Yeah. What an interesting analogy. But perfect.
I know, I shut him down. I'm not one for subtleties.
No, I love it. It is one of the numerous qualities that makes you so endearing, and easy to fall in love with. I mean, truly, you just.
Thank you.
I have to say this.
It means so much.
It's been an incredible journey getting to know you and dare I say become friends with you, and I really we're finally getting you to come to Pittsburgh, which is the whole reason we had you on tonight was to plug your education class or your class workshop.
Mm-hmm.
You call them workshops, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let you describe the workshop you're going to be doing, because I'm usually a big 80-20 fan, and I think I'm hitting about 20% right now. With nailing your thoughts on things. So
sorry. Okay. I'm like, wait, okay, do we need to wrap this up, or are you just out of it?
No.
Okay.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing at the very least, the one how to blow his mind while loving his body, which is my signature class. It is by far and away my most popular workshop that I've done, and I've taught it to thousands of people by now. And it is really about teaching women how to get their head in the game, just like his head in the game. because one survey I read said that only about 28% of women enjoy giving head to their male partners. Only 28% of hetero, right? Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's crazy. And I'm convinced that that's because women, we think it's a job. And there's this sense of there's nothing in it for us. And I throw that out the window. So my very first rule, never, ever, ever give a blowjob if you don't want to. Never. Never. And I tell people this at the beginning. I say, so tell your partner. Beth says, I'm never to give a blowjob if you don't want to, because that trains us not to like it. So take that out. We're going to get rid of all the blame, shame, guilt, and obligation right away. My job is then to teach people, women, how to enjoy it, how to make the most of it, how to create the setting, the ambiance, the situation, everything, the sentiment, to make it actually something that they're excited about doing. And I've had a couple of like real successes that stick out. And one of them, I'll tell you, was a woman who was 9 months pregnant came to my class because it was like, I forget if it was some group I was doing, a book club or whatever. So she just came, and by the time she left, she's like, oh my God, she said, I cannot believe this. I want to go home and practice. She was like, my husband's going to freak out because I haven't let him touch me in a couple of months, but now I'm ready. And that was so awesome. And then another woman in one of the swinger events that we were at, she told me the next day that she was with a new partner, and he told her, God, I feel like I should pay half of that class. Yeah. Because
nice.
I thought swingers would all be comfortable with it and be really good. They're not. There may be more than the regular population, but what were you going to say, Marilyn?
I was just going to say that, sometimes in those types of settings, they only have so much time to either get to know somebody and, to know somebody just in conversation, but then to get to know somebody and their attributes in what might be a 15-30 minute, let's go have fun. Sometimes that could be a little daunting, and being like, oh my God, what works for my husband may not work for her husband, and so that's why I think a lot of women in the lifestyle kind of like, I don't need to prime it. It should just go.
That's true. And so what I will do is I will just give her tips for strategically how to make it work for her in whatever situation, so that, again, I don't ever want somebody doing it just because somebody else wants it. Terrible reason. So as soon as we take that out, now I've got to figure out and help her find the motivation to do it and what she's getting out of it in the midst of it, in the middle of it. And so that makes all the difference in the world, because once we have the power, it feels great. And you can be a submissive, by the way, right? I'm kinky and I'm a submissive, but there's still the power of giving pleasure, whether you're in a dominant or submissive role. Giving head can come from either position and be equally as pleasurable for you. So I teach both kinds. So that's it. I really am teaching the head stuff. I'm not teaching people how to stick a cucumber down their throat. That's
so to be clear, this
really
is about everything but technique.
No. There will be some technique, but that's not all there is.
Yeah.
Right. And once you master the emotional and the head, the thoughtfulness, the emotional, the rest of it is easy. Right. The technique becomes so much easier.
Yeah. It all flows, because you have that little bit of the technique aspect, but like you said, it's getting into the moment, being in the moment, being mindful, and accepting, the gratitude that goes behind it and the pleasure for both.
Right. and the turn on,
Yeah.
right? Within our body and stuff, getting out of our minds. So I tell people, like, if you're asking them, am I doing a good job? Like, you're ruining it for both of you, because you're taking both of you out of your body into headspace. You're never going to win that one. It's got to be sensation based. So yeah, so I am excited, and I have had people who love giving blowjobs. I've had a sex therapist. I've had several sex therapists actually take my class. One that I know told me she couldn't even figure out what she did differently, because she'd been very comfortable giving oral. But she said, like, a week later, she said, my husband says it's all different. She's like, I don't even know what's changed, but he says it's so much better. So again, it's just how we approach it. I think it can really influence things.
And sometimes it's just having that sense of, like, there's enthusiasm behind it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the oohs and the ahs and all of that goes along with it, yeah, you can fake it, but people know, and it just kind of like, oh, okay, so we're at that again.
Yeah.
Well, Beth said something earlier about treating it like it's a job.
Right.
And the problem with that is it literally has the word job in the action.
Yeah. Right.
So maybe come up with a more fun, although there's plenty, I guess, of words for blowjobs, right?
But I say, one of my favorite jobs in my whole life was working at a candy store. I loved that job. It was a job, but damn, I loved it. I looked forward to it. I came home from college and couldn't wait to go back. So if we can still have that approach to it, it can still work, Then there are jobs you hate, and then you're never going to do it. So we're going to get you out of that. We're going to get you out of.
I feel about my job the same way you did about the candy store.
Yes, exactly. Right. Yeah. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I love it. I wouldn't trade this for anything, truthfully. I really do love it. So it's certainly afforded me to, it's certainly afforded me to meet people like you. So
well, and back at you, right? I'm so excited to see your club, because I've heard so many wonderful things about it, and I mean, I've loved both of you since I've met you. We just connected so easily, and I'm thrilled to be able to go. And I think it's so important, because I have zero desire to open a club, but you provide a place for people to go, right? And like, we need each other. I thank God we're all different, and if we can just find ways to take whatever we're good at and bring it bring it forth, I think that's pretty much the best world. So yeah, I love that y'all are doing this. I can't wait. It's just going to be a blast. I can't wait to meet all of your friends and everybody there, and your members. And I think it's going to be a hell of a Halloween. So yeah,
I agree.
Very cool.
Big Bacchus says that he wants it to be like the old lyrics. I want you to want me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. Because it's important to feel desired and wanted and lusted after, and yes, you're loved and all that, but to feel that, not just know, but feel it.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. And I didn't know the reason that I started teaching this class. Well, is because I was dating a guy who'd been in the swinger lifestyle for his whole life. He was in his 50s, never been married, had I don't know how many partners. And at the end of one of our nights together, he says, "Hey, will you give me your ex-husband's address?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "I want to send him a thank you note." Like, what? What? And he was like, he said, "I've never had a blowjob like that." And I know. I'm like, no, right? No, he's been with hundreds of people. And so that's what I started talking to him about. It's like, wait, there are people who don't like doing this. There are people who don't do it well. And then I just go on, again, my geeky journey is to talk to as many men as I can about what's good, what's not good, what they like, what they don't like. And then decided to teach the class? Because then I started researching, and the numbers, I was just like, holy shit. So this is, and when I did, my 85-year-old aunt once asked me, like, she's like, Beth, what gives you the gumption to think you should teach this class? And I was like, hey, Cindy, do you really want to know? Because I'll tell you. She was like, nope, 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 take it back. I don't want to know. Okay.
What would your answer been?
I would have told her the story that
Oh, okay.
I gave a blowjob that this guy said like made his toes curl and made him think he couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. He was so like, yeah.
Like, hey?
Yeah.
That is quite the marketing job for this class. I want to take your class.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the worst blowjob I've ever given in my whole life was when a guy I was going out with said, "Oh, I want to get a blowjob from the queen of blowjobs," and as soon as he objectified me like that, it was horrible. It was, and I was so mad at myself because I still gave him, and I shouldn't have, because then I was totally in my head. It was not in my, it was awful. So I'm like, no. Like, it's not. That's not.
You literally took one for the team.
I did, and then I sucked. Right? Well, I didn't suck well. I did not suck well. Did not.
You didn't suck good enough.
Right. Yeah. So don't do it.
Yeah. Never, ever take one for the team.
Yeah.
Even if it's yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. I think I learned enough just on this alone.
Wow. With that.
Well, we did talk about another class potentially, but we're not going to speak on that yet because we haven't defined that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there may be a second class also. So, but for sure, just to be clear, this will be October 26th in the afternoon. That is the afternoon of the Halloween party, so which is close to selling out.
Yes.
We have a bunch of industry people that are coming up also with Beth. People from all over the country are coming to the body shop for Halloween. So what an honor that is.
I'm just thinking about it.
Yes. So I did get word today that Tess and Archer from NCSF are not going to be attending.
Oh,
bummer.
So I did speak with them today. So, but we do have, it's always about who is there and who isn't instead of who isn't. So, we're really looking forward to having you for Halloween. Yeah. It's going to be an honor to have you in this space.
Yes.
No, thank you. I'm going to be thrilled. And it just now occurs to me, I better get a freaking costume, huh? Damn it. Oh my God. Okay.
You could be the world's best sex educator.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Well, I want to be respectful of your time, and you're welcome to stay on as long as you want to and just hang out, or if you want to go and dip and take a break, but after watching a 3-year-old, you probably need that.
I do, and I need to, I think that's why my headphones kicked out. I need to see if he's actually asleep or not, since I can't hear him now. So
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me switch back into Bubby mode. But thank you.
No, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and we'll see you in about a month. Well, less than a month.
Less than a month, yeah.
And Zoe, I'm so sorry. I see your picture there. I see you, and I just haven't even been introduced. But hi.
No, it's okay. I've just been literally taking in everything you're saying, holy shit.
Right?
I'm amazed.
She's the youngin' in the group here.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm flirting.
I am a little bit like the whirling dervish sometimes, so I apologize for that. But
Listen,
I just get hyped up.
So.
All right. Good night. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And again, everyone.
What a force of a woman. Oh my God.
Yeah. Her one book is The 5 Kinds of Intimacy. A Darling Way. So I actually, I read it. I have 2 more chapters to go on this, and it's actually a really good read. I like, I know her and I had a discussion about that I was like, it would make for a great audiobook as well. But she said that people have told her that it wouldn't, because she has a lot of little, um, like little side notes, and little quotes and things that like the publishers are like, oh well, you can't like put that in an audiobook per se.
Hmm.
Like, how do you like, oh, and subside? But I love it. So far it's been a really good read. And I just, like they noted when we all first met, it was what we all clicked, and it was like her personality, just how she is so free to just talk about everything and not bat an eye. Is like, wow, just our kind of people.
She's also a former attorney. So,
Former attorney, and she is a member of Mensa. She is a rather intelligent individual.
yeah.
Well,
But just a very kind and genuine person. So
definitely.
I feel like I'm a better person for having known her.
Yeah.
So I find myself saying that a lot recently. So anyway.
Yes.
So we will have that information about the event hopefully up tomorrow afternoon. The goal is to have it up before 2:00 so that we can start selling tickets for that. The How to Blow His Mind class will be a paid for class. So anyway, we will make other announcements as they develop.
For that, yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Zoe, you said you were taking that all in. Were there any key takeaways? Were there any zingers?
Any zingers? No, I think it's I think in terms of like the class, like a lot of what she said is just super interesting. I feel like how do I want to word this? Like her talking about the back-to-back skin-to-skin contact, and how like by doing that you'll get better at like communication and like normal eye-to-eye, face-to-face. It's one of those things where like it's so simple, like you question how like you've never like thought of it, but like it immediately makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, because even
you
like
know?
when you get to know your partner and you get to know their facial expressions, and you feel like you have something important to say, and you don't want the judgment, or you don't want, uh, you know, you just want to be heard. Kind of how like we sometimes say, look, I just need to vent. I don't need your input. I don't need you to save a hoe. I just need you
I just want you to listen.
to listen to me. This is a great exercise to accomplish that. And eventually, gaining the confidence, and the free will to have those conversations as well, face to face. Because sometimes we jump into these conversations in that face to face, eye to eye manner, and the minute someone inadvertently makes a gesture, or they twinge or something, and you're like, a lot of people take that in, and then immediately place judgment on themselves because of the other person's reactions, when they haven't even said anything yet, and you shoot yourself down, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have this, I shouldn't have that, da da da. Getting the practice to just be like, I'm going to say what I have to say, and that's that.
Right.
Well, it's a lot easier.
I feel like I definitely need to work on it as a girly who's better at writing than speaking.
Oh, I can write you a book, let me tell you.
Far better writer than I am speaker, guys.
Yeah.
Well, but that certainly makes sense, because you can take your time in writing out your thoughts, erase, no, that's not what I meant, I really meant to say this. And if we just took a little more time to think about the things that we want, will get better at communicating those things, because they will be honest and genuine, and they won't have to be thought out. They'll just come out, in the clearest and kindest way. So, but
Yeah.
yes, writing, I feel I'm the same. I think I write better than I speak.
Yeah.
Although not according to Mary Lou, because she's the spell and grammar checker for one of the newsletters. Even though I have spelling and grammar checks, she still manages to find some shit.
I trust same.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Bubble
I'm
says
like
that.
blind to it though, so it's great. It's great because you'll be like, Hayden, da. My bad. Let me change it.
No. Well, Bubbles says that the back-to-back contact communication really stuck with them because they're so bad at communicating face to face. They say that it's so hard for me to not shut down and overthink or internalize everything. I think that's the thing with a lot of people.
Mhm.
I couldn't agree
You
more.
know, I know that sometimes I'm going to put this out there. Um, sometimes G and I will have conversations, and I'll sit there, and he can tell that I'm shutting down. He just can't tell why, and then he'll look at me and he'll be like, whatever you say, or however your whatever it is that you have to respond to, there's no right or wrong answer. This isn't a test. Because he picks up on my anxiety, and he knows that for me. I think I've told the story before where it was like, coming home, if it wasn't an A, it was an F. So sometimes for me mentally that sits there, and responding to someone's emotions or responding to a conversation sometimes for me is like the anxiety, comes in, and I can't help but be like I'm responding in my head thinking, "Oh my god, is that the right answer? Is it not? Should I say that? Should I not?"
Yeah.
And you second guess yourself. And sometimes with the back to back, it takes that away
Yeah.
because you're just speaking your mind.
It's important to also not the right way I wanted to say this. It's important to point out that there is no right or wrong.
Right.
There's either honest or not.
Mm-hmm.
And once you decide that you're only going to give honest answers, everything else flows as it should. Meaning, yeah, exactly, Bubbles. And that's important to point out too, that the reason many people are afraid of speaking the truth is that at some point in their life they did so, and something terrible happened because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't matter when it happened, doesn't matter if you were a little kid, it doesn't matter if you're a teenager, doesn't matter if you're an adult. At some point, something so traumatic happened, at least to you or in your mind,
Yeah.
that you become afraid to speak the truth for fear of what might happen.
Right.
You just have to know that when you speak the truth, what is supposed to happen will happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
But for those of you that missed part of this, know that you can always go back to it on YouTube, Facebook.
that's okay, India.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a great one to rewatch. We had Beth Darling on here for those of you who are popping in. We had them on, they just left probably 15 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago or so.
So they are going to be coming to Pittsburgh October 26th to teach their How to Blow His Mind class. There'll be more information tomorrow on the website about that.
Yeah.
So sorry, we did not come prepared. This all came together very quickly today, and we thought it important to get that out right away that Beth was coming to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, and will be hanging out with us at the Halloween party, along with a bunch of other industry people that we've
Mhm.
talked about on the live stream, some people that we've never talked about on the live stream, but maybe we'll get them on at some point before they
Right.
get here, so you guys know who they are. So
Yeah.
that was a lot. That was fun.
Mhm.
Do we want to talk about, well, before we talk about this weekend, let me just say that Mary Lou and I will not be here next Saturday, because
Mhm.
we'll be on our, well, actually, we'll be in Jamaica for bye week at Hedonism.
Yes.
So this is officially a working trip. We are going to be in charge of the volunteers for the event, and they have all gone through the Safer Spaces orientation.
Yes.
They've all been trained on being monitors, and these are all the people that are going to be working the Commerce
Thomas.
Sutra room at Hito.
Yes.
So we're really honored to be asked to come back there to do that. And tomstrips.com was very generous. They comped our passes to go do this,
Mhm.
and we really appreciate them. We appreciate Ricky from buy-events.com. He's become a good friend of ours also, and it was at his behest that we are there. So it's strange he did not pop on tonight.
I know.
Him or Rock and Ronnie. So
Well, but they're all on their way to Jamaica.
oh, that's true. Yeah, they've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, but we're really thankful for everybody who stopped in tonight. So thank you.
Mhm.
So onward to this weekend.
Do we want to talk quickly about past weekend before new weekend?
We
This
can.
past weekend was a lot of fun.
It was last weekend, Bear to Bear. People were
It was.
naked. It was cool.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. You weren't here. You were here. You
Member
missed her.
appreciation. Really busy. Everyone got a 3-month membership if you were there.
Yeah, it was. I will just say this: another 18 people, we would have closed the door.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
Oh.
Yes, member appreciation this past weekend. Great event.
Mhm.
Got to see some people we hadn't seen in a little while. It was really wonderful to catch up. I got to have some conversations with people and talk about the space and just the lifestyle in
Mhm.
general, and shared some fun and funny stories.
Yes.
So it was really a wonderful night.
No. It was like you said, 18 more people, and we would have had to turn people away at the door. Excuse me. But just to give an example of how far reaching we are and the club is and what we stand for, we had people brand new that came all the way from Maryland.
8-hour drive.
Yeah, an 8-hour drive.
That says a lot,
Mhm.
because they definitely drove by other clubs to come to the body shop in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So
So
thank you.
yes. Yeah. Thank you to anybody who drives a distance to
Mhm.
come to the club. I was talking to Mike this morning, who I talk to virtually every single morning. Mike is what I would consider to be my best friend, other than Mary Lou,
Mhm.
and he's been in the nightclub business for a long time, not the lifestyle, but nightclub business. And he said he always appreciated the fact that they can go get a Bud Light anywhere, right? They drove by dozens, if not hundreds of other places where they could have grabbed a Bud Light and came to his club to spend their evening. And that's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
So every single person who walks through the door, I genuinely am grateful and thankful for that they chose to be at the body shop for their entertainment, for their fun, for their good time, for their socializing, for whatever it is they choose it to be for. So anyway, you'll have an opportunity to do that again this weekend, and we'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. So what do we got Friday?
Anyone? Hot wife night.
Hot wife night.
It is hot wife night this Saturday. So Zoe, tell us what hot wife night means to you.
It means Give me a second because I didn't have the thing you pulled up. But, personally, if we're going strictly off improv,
Mhm.
Sure.
Hot Wife Night is a night that celebrates. I feel like Hot Wife Night celebrates a lot of MFM and other various like MMF uh, type dynamics. I mean, granted, switch the letters however you want, or more, but I feel like it's very common to see like FFM in any variation,
Mhm.
and like Hot Wife Night definitely allows to bring like awareness and stuff like that, and kind of celebrates the MFM scenario that's common, but not super common.
Yeah.
I think it gives them permission to be more sexually explorative.
Mhm.
You know, I've been doing this long enough to where I came to understand the lifestyle to mean most couples were only looking for other single women. You know,
Mhm.
the obligatory female male threesome, and this is the opposite of that, and it gives them permission to not only experience that but to be celebrated or encouraged. You know, be in an environment that allows it, not allows it, but encourages it.
Yeah.
So
It's empowering.
it
It,
is
allows you to show off your sexy confidence,
right.
being
Yeah.
that little vixen.
Mhm.
I actually had a conversation with a couple on Saturday, and um, I would, my personal opinion, attractive couple.
Mhm.
And she made a comment that they had come to one of the evenings and they must have been looking for somebody, a single gentleman, and she had walked through the club twice and nobody would talk to her. And she thought, oh, well, it must be because, I'm no good. That was the story she was telling herself. And the
Wow.
reality is, I think that she's very attractive, and most people are afraid to shoot their shot. They're afraid of the rejection so much that they'll just avoid it altogether.
Mhm.
Instead of, in that case, she's looking for fun and nobody approaches her, you know? So, um, got to shoot your shot.
Yeah.
So be yourself at Hot Wife Night. Anyway,
Every day I yearn to be spit roasted. Anyway,
under a fire.
listen, MF or NB. As long as it's a multi spit roast, I'm chilling.
Chilling like a villain.
So Saturday is Kinkapalooza.
I feel like Kickapalooza is almost self-explanatory now. We've been doing it almost a year. It is consistently one of the best events we host.
Do we talk about our new DJ?
Yeah. So we do have a guest DJ for Kinkapalooza.
Yes.
Dun 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 dun.
I'm a bad
He's gonna
friend.
shoot
I'm
the
a bad
shot.
friend. I'm a bad friend. Fuck.
What
What
was
did you
that?
say?
I forgot the I know their name, but I don't know.
Vampire? Isn't
I'm
it
a bad
Vampire
friend.
DJ?
No.
That's how I remember. We got, hey folks, we have Vampire DJ this Saturday at Kickapalooza. That's
It's
all. What else do you
DJ
need to say?
Strigoi.
What?
DJ Strigoi.
I like DJ Vampire better.
STRIGOII with the extra dot between the eyes.
Can it be DJ Vamp?
Can we just call him DJ Vamp? No.
No.
India says that they felt that way before, but not anymore. Good for
Good.
you. You know,
Good.
feeling sexually empowered is such a freeing and liberating experience.
It is.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Kinkapalooza, Hot
We'll
Wife
have-
Night. Anything else we need to know about before we jet on out of here? We know we have we have Mary Lou's Freakapalooza flea market.
Freakapalooza
Freakapalooza.
freaky flea
Yeah, freaky
market.
flea market.
The freaky
Try
flea
saying
market.
that 3 times fast.
Freaky, oh boy, no, thank you. Freaky flea market.
Market.
That's going to be October 20th, Sunday, October 20th, from 2 to 6 p.m. This is
Yes.
going to be open to the public. So
Yes.
all you'll have to do is RSVP for the event, put your name on the guest list so we know who you are walking in.
Mhm.
And Mary Lou, this is your event.
It is my event. So we do have quite a few vendors and food vendors as well for this event. Oh my God. I'm really excited. One of the food trucks is called Tacon Todo, which is everything tacos in English.
All tacos, baby.
It's all tacos,
night.
baby. All tacos. But but they're going to be making fresh churros also too. So I'm excited with anything sweet, savory.
I'm excited for the Dick waffles.
Yes. So we also have Bite Me Dessert Bar, and they make the penis and the vagina waffles. So you'll have a choice of those with various toppings. Obviously we want to have the whipped cream on them.
I'm flashing back to the conversation we had on Saturday, G, where we were talking about vagina waffles with sausage gravy.
Right?
Okay, that would be a chick. Oh, that would be a chicka waffle.
Chicken and a dickin.
A chicken and a dickin, yes.
Nicole's asking if the membership special is still happening. There is less than 3 hours for that.
Mhm.
So if you can jump on and do that this evening, maybe we'll extend it to noon, give people opportunity. I'm not opposed to that. Anybody else opposed to extending it till noon? All right, you got till noon, Nicole.
You really
Yeah,
twisted her leg about it. Damn.
Bubbles is like, ooh, I'm definitely shoving one of those down my throat. Hey, that's exactly what the tagline is.
This is what I wish.
Just put it in your mouth.
This is when I wished I tasted like a waffle.
Fenugreek.
Oh.
Fenugreek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes it smell
Anyway, Halloween's almost sold out. There are
Yeah.
very, very, very few tickets left. If you have been waiting for some reason, which I'm not sure why you would be waiting, please grab your tickets now.
Mhm.
If you're on the list and you RSVP'd, once we sell out, we sell out. Your RSVP is going to be removed and you will not be able to attend Halloween. So please grab your tickets. New Year's Eve is up. Grab those. We're going to be pushing hard next month in October for that. Great, Nicole. Good to hear. That'll be another one that'll sell out.
Yeah.
And then we have Glowgasm in November.
Mm-hmm.
So DJ Rockarani is our DJ for both Halloween and New Year's Eve this year.
Yes.
So I think that's about all I got.
That's it.
Mary Lou, you have been doing some discovery sessions with new members.
I have been. If you go to the website as a new member, you'll get an email from me introducing myself and the club to you. And with that, you get a 15-minute free session to talk about anything you want. Any questions about the club, how it works, what to expect, or even just, how do you communicate with your partner before you get to the club as towards what your expectations are, and what I usually say is don't have any expectations. But those are always kind of fun to see where everyone's mindset is before they actually walk into the space. Oh.
And to be clear, this is free, correct?
This is a free 15-minute session.
Okay.
Now, I will admit that sometimes, 15 minutes isn't enough time. So if I don't have any other client, I might stretch it out another 5 minutes for you. But
Well, it's important to be respectful of other people's time. So if
correct.
you have back-to-backs lined up, then obviously you want to be respectful.
Mhm.
But okay, well, that's good. And they can do that through MaryLouandYou.com.
They can do that through MaryLouandYou.com. They just need to go to the Let's Meet tab, and you will see where it says a 15-minute complimentary
Awesome.
session to book. Yep.
That's great. Okay, so go to MaryLouandYou.com to speak to a board-certified psychologist. Ask her whatever question you may have about ethical non-monogamy or alternative relationships or sexuality in general.
Right. Cool.
If you're ready to take the plunge, or you're really giving it some serious consideration, you can visit bodyshopclubs.com, click the Apply Now button, fill out your application. After you fill the application out, you're going to be asked to watch a very short 90-second video about some important things about the club before you walk in. After you do that, you'll be asked to do an age verification. That's just to make sure that you are of legal age and can consent to seeing all of the fun and exciting things that the Body Shop website has to offer in general. Anything else I'm missing?
Yes, Bubbles, you can still cash in on your 15 minutes.
No, I think that's great that, Mary Lou's super busy, and she's, we really want to offer this to our members and give them the ability to really ask questions, to somebody who can be objective about it. We can all talk to our friends and stuff about things, and most of the time they're just going to agree with you. But if you really want an objective answer to your question, Mary Lou would be the person for that, for sure. I don't call her the Puerto Rican pit bull for nothing. She'll give it to you straight.
That I will.
So,
Unless you like it to curve it a little to the left, but that's a whole different subject matter.
Curve down for me.
Yeah, we can be flexible.
not even gonna, never mind. Thank you for tuning in tonight. For those of you who watch from start to finish, I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. If we don't, well, we won't. Mary Lou and I will not see you this weekend at the club. We are unsure if we're going to go live next Monday. That's going to be a played by ear type thing, because we will be in Jamaica and at a resort where internet is usually really shoddy. So we'll see about next Monday. But if you do come to the club this weekend, you'll be in good hands. The rest of the staff is going to take very good care of you. But I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Let me get to the exit button and we'll get the heck out of here. You guys have a good rest of the week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Certified free, 7 days a week. That wet ass pussy good. My pull-out game weak. Ooh, yeah. I'm fucking with that wet ass. Swimming in it, baby. I'ma bring a bucket and a mop, darling. Give you everything I got. I'm falling. Yeah. I'm fucking with that wet ass. Beat it up, get your charge, extra large and extra hard. Put your pussy in my face, swipe my nose like a credit card. I'm on top, you wanna run, do a gig or I'll listen to spit in your mouth, girl, while you looking in my eyes. Your pussy is wet, I'ma take a dive, I'ma tie you up like you're a prize. Let's go play, I wear disguise, I'ma park my Mack truck in your garage. Yeah. I'm fucking with that wet ass. like you're a prize. Let's role play our way disguise. I'ma park my Mac truck in your garage. Yeah, 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 oh yeah. Fucking with that wet ass, swimming in it, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Swimming in it, swimming with that wet ass, swimming in it, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fucking with that wet ass, yeah. I'm drowning.